Boom. All right. So yeah, this is the interview that I really didn't think was gonna happen. Because there was a lot of history behind it, and I mean, I don't know. There was a lot of stuff before that got cleared up, which is good. But okay. So how are you doing?
I'm I'm okay, I guess. Knock knock. Ever since Hanson showed up at my house, I've been knocking. Like because like right before he showed up, I said, I think things are gonna be okay. And then he knocked, and I was like, "Fuck that!" So from now on, whenever you say something is going to be or whatever, you just knock that sense of confidence out of the air that your life is in your control, because crazy shit can happen. So when you ask if I'm okay, I'm like, you don't want to say you're doing too good, because otherwise fate hits you in the nuts.
Right? Yeah. All right, so I gotta ask you about like these interviews and stuff like that. Like, I'm positive other people have asked you to do interviews. Like, why is like some interviews falling through? I know we spoke a little bit about this beforehand. Like,
they asked me to do interviews when I was basically unable to, because my husband had said that he was going to leave me if I talked to anyone, because of all the dramas that I've had in the past. I always talked in the past, and on this, he didn't want me to say anything, because first of all, it was a friend that he had trusted and known for years who had backstabbed him, and it was like a really unpleasant experience directly involving Kai, and Kai just did not want to be a part of any of it, because Kai has never been a dramatic person.
Yeah.
So the kind of sick of the drama and didn't want me to basically do it because it involved him, and so I was sticking by that. And at some point I just said, dude, it's getting so fucking bad because I'm not talking, and so I have to say something, and if you want to leave me over it, that's your choice, but I can't just keep getting steamrolled and let these people keep running their mouths and make up these crazy ideas and spread these crazy rumors about me without me dropping all the receipts and actually clarifying what really happened.
Yeah, you didn't want them to just control the narrative. Quick question about that.
It was just crazy out of control. Like, it started out like where I had kicked someone out of my life repeatedly for things that they had done and for being dishonest and so forth, and then it turned into, apparently I was the next Charles Manson or some crazy shit, and I was like, when I don't stick up for myself, people just have a fucking field day, and you can't do that. Like they say, be the bigger person and stay silent, but like with people like Tobuscus, for instance, when he stayed silent, people just steamrolled him too. They made up their own, and the people who were lying about Tobuscus felt so confident in themselves and felt so empowered by their lies, because they were getting the revenge for getting rejected. Like, as you saw from Tobuscus' videos, about how he rejected this crazy chick. And when people finally like listened to him, which I'm really glad I had some role to play in that, because it was literally right after I made a video telling his side of the story, and also right after I actually talked to him directly in his house with Tomato Biscuit and his girlfriend at the time. When I heard his side, I'm like, well, dude, you should just speak up for yourself. But then when it happened to me, I was fucking sitting there in silence, because I was trying to be respectful and be the bigger person and all that shit. Nobody gives a shit about the bigger person. The bigger person just means that you can kick this guy in the nuts and he won't fight back, and you can say whatever you want about him and it's fine.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you're right. You're right. You had all these people ganging up on you. You had Shiloh. You had I'm sorry. Who was you had his ex-wife as well, right? And her sister. You had all these people coming at you.
Anything about my ex-wife and the sister talking, because it seemed so brief and also superficial.
So
weird to see them. It'd be weird to see them say anything just because it's the same story. Every person who's pissed off at me. They wanted to stay with me. I didn't want to stay with them, and so I fucking left them. And then they got really, really upset at me, and then started thinking, well, if I can't be with you, then I'm not gonna let other people be with you either. And it's just like the same vengeful fucking mentality. And people say, oh, there's a pattern. Yet the pattern is I dump people, and I do it very insensitively. Where I'm just like,
do you think that maybe though making a lot of these things public is what causes a lot of these dramas? Because I mean, like if you think about it, like
right, I didn't go public about like most everybody. I don't go public until they start talking. Like with a lot of the Dracula / Silo / Lil Doll stuff, I didn't say much until she was like all over it. Like she would like post a blog saying, you know, some shit that just wasn't true, and then I'd be like, all right, I'll make a video. And I make a video, I tell the full story, and then people would be like, holy shit, we knew that Shiloh was, you know, that way the whole time. So then they would be like, okay, well, forget that. And so Shiloh's just sitting here with this fucking rejection for a long time. And the same goes with a lot of people. Like I think 3 people were actually dating me at some point.
Yeah.
And you know, my ex-wife, I don't know what she did or what she said. I just know on the divorce documents, she was saying I was the reason for her depression, which was crazy because I actually broke up with her for her depression. The first time I ever broke up with her was for that reason. I said I could never make you happy. Yeah. And then when the marriage is over, because I left, she's like, oh, it's your fault that I was ever depressed. I'm like, that's just bizarre and weird. And why did you want to stay with me so bad if I made you upset? And why did I leave you if I made you upset? Why wasn't it the other way around? It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. What I meant about the whole public thing though, it was like, do you regret though, like making a lot of the stuff that, like, you know, these things that you have, these issues public though, or no?
I regret. I mean, obviously because I left them, I regret being with them, all of them. Like I used to be like, you know, a really wholesome minded person as far as like, I'm so glad that I went through these things because I learned stuff. It's like, no, I wish I never was with these people. It's like, I mean, that's why I broke up with them, because I'm like, dude, either you lie or you're not in the relationship for the right reason. For instance, my ex-wife had openly admitted that she was after my assets, that she wanted half my stuff, and I was like, well, I can be with you. Yeah, and then later, and like 6 months later, I just straight up left her for literally Shiloh. Like Shiloh came into my life, and Shiloh's like, "Oh, we're soulmates, and you're the one for me." And there's a you knew me in a previous lifetime. She gave me the whole spiel about how there's a supernatural meaning to our relationship, and this is destiny, and you know, filled my head with these things. Yeah. And then I was looking at the relationship I was in, where I married someone for not only because she was a great friend to me, we love watching anime and playing games together, but also because this was like just it was a marriage of emotional comforts, and it's like marrying your best buddy and stuff. So I was in that, but it was so passionless. And when Shiloh came along, there was so much passion with this person. Yeah. But the unfortunate side effect of a lot of passionate relationships is that they can also be really, really unhealthy. And
it was obviously really intense. And like that's
why I ended up having to call the cops, and why the fire department brought her back one time, because I just broken up with her and she walked off. And she, like, near I-5 intersection of 72nd Street or something like that, she had passed out on the side of the road and was shaking, and the fire department brought me back to her and said, what happened? And I'm like, oh my god, this again.
Yeah, she's really intense. Like we said, like I spoke off stream with you about this already, like about her, you know, sending me a DM saying that, you know, she was gonna slit her wrists on camera, you know, because she said that's what I want. She was saying she was gonna slit her wrist and send me the video.
Did you see the video from her ex-boyfriend where he was talking about how she tried to put him in jail?
Yes, I did see that. Yes, I did.
That was bizarrely familiar. I did that music video, Her Lies, and I was talking about the next guy, and I said, show him the skeletons hiding in your closet, soon he can become one. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, I just knew that the next guy was in for it, because this is some fucking crazy stuff.
Anybody go look it up. You'll see there's a whole bunch of drama behind that. It's everywhere. Like it's a whole thing. So I gotta ask you. So let's talk about these people who I think they're fake victims and whatever. Some people are gonna get mad at me for that. I don't care.
Well, no, you gotta pause right there and ask, what are they victims of?
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to say victim, but what are they a victim of?
That's a good question.
That's the question. That's the question that nobody asks. They just say victim. What are they a victim of? They're not victims of sexual assault. They're not victims. What are they victims of?
They're gonna throw this term out, groomer. Like when you hear that, what do you think?
Okay, so you're talking about Sarah with that. I've never been called a groomer until Sarah. Mm-hmm. So it was very confusing when that happened. And Sarah had repeatedly said that she wasn't, and as an adult, she was saying this, And for a long time, she was pushing this agenda like she was trying to get with us, but she never could because we kept rejecting her. And we even kicked her out one time because she kept trying to be in a relationship with us, as we saw through those texts that I discussed with you earlier, where she was texting a friend. Her friend's name was Lane. I think it was Lane.
I remember that. Lane has actually been pulled up for Chris Hansen as well. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I don't know. I don't keep track of. I mean, I see. Like, I invited that one chick back to record videos with, and then I saw her on there. I'm like, dude, she's like 25 or what? She was like 25.
I found that really shitty because she was like just a legit regular friend, right? I mean,
well, yeah, she was supposed to be a fan. Anyway, so I flew her out, and we did that video where we covered ourselves in shaving cream. We ran around our yard, and I think that Tall Videos dude said that I was like somehow cheating on my wife because I was wife at the time, cheating on the wife at the time by power bombing Beck on a trampoline when we were covered in shaving cream or something like that.
Yeah, that's his thing. Beck actually.
Like, that's cheating. How is that cheating? And that just really points out the outrage of the internet. How they just really want to be mad at something, even though Beck and I literally nothing happened. She got rejected by Kai because Kai was just not into her. The whole reason that she came out is because she wrote a love song for Kai. And again, this is a 25-year-old woman at the time. At least I think she was 25. She might have been 24 or something. But she's in college. She comes out. And Kai is not attracted to her. Kai doesn't want to be with her. Kai's like, okay, it's nice you wrote me a love song, but I really am not attracted to you. And then Beck, for some reason, she craps in her house, clogs her toilet, stinks up the whole place, and then
wait a minute. What happened? Wait a minute. What happened there? Because I've heard about this before.
She, in our main floor bathroom at the old house, she goes in the bathroom, clogs the toilet. It's the worst smelling crap. Like, I've never smelled crap like that, and she thinks it's funny, and I'm sitting here thinking, dude, you're trying to, like, the whole reason you wrote a love song for Kai, you're trying to date Kai, and then you take a dump in the freaking bathroom, and you stink up the whole house, and you think that's going to get you points. Like, what are you doing? This person, I mean, like, literally nobody kissed. Nobody
this is why people call her poop.
Relationship while she was here.
They call her poop back now. Poop back.
Talking about God knows what.
Yeah, she's poop back now. I recall that. I remember that now. So yeah, I know she went on there, and I guess because you power bombed her, that was somehow people considering you victimizing her by doing that.
Wait, are you serious?
I swear that's what they were trying to portray on Hansen. Yes.
Seriously, that's ridiculous.
Because you power bombed them on a trampoline. Somehow she was victimized.
So professional wrestling is just a bunch of victims.
I guess so. Listen, apparently they try to make it seem like anything you do is being a victim. Like anybody you touch is a victim.
Do you remember when Hansen went after actual predators? Like,
I know, I remember when he wasn't a grifter.
Going after people who powerbomb people on trampolines.
Yeah, when he wasn't a grifter, and like it's sad because like he used to actually do good things. I think it went downhill after he did that botched raid and that guy himself. I think that's when it went downhill after then. You know what's crazy too is as I
understand, Hansen was released from the this is based on one article that I read. He was released from the show because it came out, and I'm not sure about the timing on it, but this is just what the article said. Came out that he was not only cheating on his wife, but cheating on his wife or cheating on the woman he was cheating on his wife with another woman, and they didn't renew his contract because it was such a huge scandal.
Yeah, well, it was like he wasn't even.
As I understand, it wasn't even a $100 million lawsuit they lost for the guy killing himself. It was actually because of that.
Yeah, it was. I think it was all of it. Like somebody did they pretty much Chris Hansen. They followed him around and they caught him cheating. They did what
Seriously?
he does. Yeah, they did what he does to people to him. A magazine. I think it was.
Wow.
It might have been National Enquirer. Actually, I'm not 100% sure, but it was one of those magazines. They did what he does to him. So
now he's trying to ruin other people's lives based on rumors.
Well, look, I'm convinced 100% that he just came into the anti-Onision community to grift, along with like Repsion and whoever like the top anti-O people are.
Did you see his viewership before he started the Onision thing?
Yes, it was trash. Like it wasn't because
he was getting a few hundred to 3,000 views a video, and then he hit on my whole world, and that's when his stuff blew up. So he deleted all the old videos.
Yeah, that whole thing is crazy. You know, people like were promised donations as well, and then they never got them. They were supposed to be donated to charities, and then he ended up blaming it on Vincent, which I don't believe that. And Vincent actually technically owns that channel. It's a whole big mess. You know, and people, I think it's funny that people donated so much money, but they don't question to where it went, what it was doing. But he said he was there for quote unquote victims, and he never even set up like any fund for these people or anything to try to help these people. I always thought that was so sketchy.
Well, they help themselves though, you know.
That's true. They do. They do have funds.
Shiloh's promoting her album. Shiloh's got people to pay for a tattoo that I guess like was already covered up or something like that.
Yeah, there was a tattoo that she got.
She literally just showed up with a tattoo, and I nearly shit myself when she showed it to me because I was like, "Holy shit! You did not just get my name on the back of your neck. This is insane."
And she could. I think she got like $1,500 for that.
Right, to black it out. Like that's not how much that costs.
No, it costs like $200, honestly.
No, to black out a tattoo, it costs like $50 to $100.
Does it? I've never done it, but I imagine it's not a lot.
Yeah, tattoos are really cheap, especially if it's just a little black box. But then you got Sarah with the laptop. I don't know if Billy did anything, but I know Sarah was also allegedly doing Venmo and so forth. So they didn't need Chris Hansen's donations. They were getting plenty of money off these.
Well, all these people are on like OnlyFans. They're on OnlyFans anyways. I mean, so we have what's the name on OnlyFans? Look, and I know you're on OnlyFans. Whatever, people are on OnlyFans, but like I just mean a lot of these people promote their OnlyFans. Like, I'm sorry, what was her name? That's the one who's connected to Chris Hansen so much. What's her name? Not Lane, the other one. Regina. Yeah, Regina has an OnlyFans. Billy has an OnlyFans. Ayala has an OnlyFans, which is fine. Great. Do your OnlyFans. You know, everybody seems to be doing it these days. I get it, but I mean, everybody's making money off this, and everybody has made money off your name. And it's been like a year after this, and I'm kind of glad that I'm doing this, and that's the reason like I'm doing it. So now people can look back at this, you know, retroactively and be like, all right, this is what took place. What the hell just happened here? And what it looks like,
a lot of people made a lot of money off a lot of nothing.
Yes, I agree, because all these people were.
To be fair, I don't know where my career would be right now. It's not in a good place right now, but at the time, I was making money too. Okay. So it wasn't off lies or anything. It was literally off the fake meltdown videos, which were like a big practical joke on the general community.
All right, since we're on that, let's talk about that.
I lost my Patreon, and I was making $2,500 a month on my Patreon, so it was more like a compensation. And I guess I've literally been banned from so many sites just for like literally rumors. Like people will literally spread rumors, and the site will say we can't be associated with you anymore because of no reason. They won't even tell me.
I know you said you doxed Billy. What happened there? What happened?
I post a bunch of I was trying to focus on all the good moments that I had with people who were absolutely crapping on me because they were acting like I was some kind of demon monster. And so I was like, I'm a demon monster? This is crazy, because I like literally like I took care of Billy like a lot. I spent tens of thousands of dollars on her. I even gave her a position to like handle my business email, and she was responding to that. She's getting paid like I think it was $3,000 a month or something like that. So I was just like trying to help her survive as an adult, so she didn't have to work at the gas station that she used to work at. I was like, I want you to have an easier life, so I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to give you, you know, basically whatever you need. I even paid her medical bills and a number of things, and then I wanted to show in these texts that there was good moments that we had, and there was like actually primarily good moments. Despite how many times I'd broken up with her, there was still a lot of good moments that were nice for me. And so I was posting these screenshots, and one of the screenshots, I actually doxed myself the other day. I accidentally leaked my phone number for like the 5,000th time.
Oh, man.
But it happens. You just fucking forget to crop out one of the mini screenshots, and then that's when the NCO jump on and they say you intentionally did it. And I didn't intentionally do it. It was a total fucking accident. I caught it myself. I removed it myself, but it was already too late.
Okay.
So then they doxed me intentionally. I don't know who did it, but they were like, I guess we're gonna release his phone number.
Well, I saw people trying to dox your family and everything like that as well. I saw that.
Yeah. I see people posting every possible piece of information they can about me, and they don't get to be held accountable, because when you feel good about yourself, you can do no wrong.
I think that's absolutely disgusting that people do that and they act like they're good people or they're doing the right thing.
But that's why you can't trust. That's why you can't trust people who think they're heroes. Like I used to think that I was a hero, and I didn't do a lot of good things. Like for instance, I had a feeling like people were making fun of my OnlyFans. I'm like, wow, they're body shaming me. But if you look at my old videos, I body shamed the shit out of a lot of people. So it's like,
yeah, I mean,
it's interesting when your perspective changes and you become the butt of the joke, it's not so fun anymore. And that's generally how it is. So it's like, we can say it's disgusting, but we are all human and we're all doing similar stuff. It just doesn't feel good when we're on the receiving end. That's basically what this is.
So I gotta ask here, are you making around the same with OnlyFans as you were with Patreon, or more?
No comment on that.
All right, that's totally cool. I'm just surprised. I was just surprised when you made that move, honestly.
I will say I am curious to know how much a lot of people are making on OnlyFans, just because it seems like some people charge like $30 to be a member, and then their posts get like 20 likes, and so I could only assume that they have at least 100 patrons. So you multiply 30 times 100, and they're making a crap load of money there. Yeah. So you're like if you just keep multiplying, you're like, oh my god, it's crazy how much people make. So yeah, OnlyFans is insane. It's a crazy source, but you know, you have your initial success and then things dwindle down hard for a lot of people. Like there's this initial excitement. Like there's this one chick, she's 20 something or whatever, and she was like initially doing really, really well, but with everybody it just like it kind of
the excitement dwindles down and everything like that.
Yeah, and then people kind of get bored and they move on.
Well, they got to keep upping the ante and everything like that, right? You got to keep going a little further.
Maybe I don't know. Like Trisha Paytas had her OnlyFans. But then she started leaking her own content. It was just a weird thing, and I don't know what's going on there.
How do you feel about doing OnlyFans now, as opposed to being on YouTube as well? Like, is that a strange thing for you, or?
I'm still pursuing YouTube despite the destruction of my presence there. I like doing YouTube, and the future of my channels is I'm pretty excited about it. Like, I'm not making much of any money whatsoever, but it's not just about money. A lot of it's about like just literally having a good time and making the videos that make you happy and stuff like that. But I've noticed a lot of YouTubers have completely and utterly like given up, and because the money's down or whatever. But as far as OnlyFans, I think a lot of people are ashamed of their own bodies, and they look at that whole thing as like, oh, I'd never do that. Yeah. But I don't get it. And it just doesn't register with me why anyone should feel bad about the way they look or be afraid to show how they look to other adults. So, yeah. Well, I can't understand the downside. Like if somebody sees you naked, or somebody sees you, taking part in a sexual act, and they're an adult, you're an adult, and they saw that consensually and of their own free will, I don't understand how they could be mad at you for doing that, what they already do just in privacy.
Yeah. So you're content with what you're doing. You enjoy it.
I enjoy Onision more than Onision Prime.
Okay.
Because Onision Prime is not as much my vibe, but yeah, I enjoy it.
Okay. Can I ask you something about the situation? Now, this is something a lot of people want to know about. Is why? Like, you might not answer this, and you may. I'm not sure. But why hasn't Kai spoken up about anything?
Because Kai is a full-blown adult who doesn't want to engage in drama whatsoever. Because, like, Kai's a lot of people, like for instance Donald Trump. Okay, He never mentally graduated high school. Me, I'm getting there. I'm growing up a little bit, but I'm not quite fully mentally matured. Kai is full-blown matured. Does not want to deal with people. You saw it happen with Leah Bunny, whatever. Lita, is that her name? You see it with a lot of different people who are pretty mature. Like Dan is not on fire, doesn't really engage in drama. Lita Monster Bunny didn't really engage in a lot of drama as far as like when she was done, she was done. There's so many people who, when they encounter drama, rather than taking part in it, they just say, see you guys later, I'm done. Like for instance, Jenna Marbles. Instead of Jenna Marbles going on making videos or going back to back, she just literally said, I'm sorry, bye. Like, just didn't even partake. Like, obviously Jenna Marbles didn't do anything significantly wrong or even wrong at all, but she still quit because she didn't want to deal with it. There's a lot of people who are grown up and don't want to engage in drama, don't want to profit off it, don't want to encounter people who are obsessed with drama. And then there's people like me who's like, bring it on. I'm in the pit and I'm fighting with you guys because this is just who I am. We are the drama people sometimes.
So is Kai coming back at any point ever, or are they done?
No, I seriously doubt Kai would ever come back, just because Kai trusted somebody as their friend, and that person stabbed them in the back 50 times, essentially, metaphorically, just to hurt me.
Okay, and now we spoke about this.
To be clear, Sarah literally only ever said anything that was bad about Kai because Sarah wanted to hurt me. And
Yeah.
Sarah did that because I
Well,
hurt her feelings.
let's break this down for a second. Sarah said that that Kai sent pictures to them, right? But it come to find out as time passed, like because they threw out these pictures, right? And they were actually involved with an Instagram. Come to find out, there was a computer that was sent, right? That Sarah bought, right? And
it's dude, I wholeheartedly, when I say this, I say it as genuinely as I can. I think it's really stupid to dive into any of the logistics of any of that, because that's something for, first of all, Kai to discuss. And the only thing I can really say is that Kai would rather vomit for days than ever send something like that to Sarah. Kai is not interested in that. And to be frank, before Sarah had become well into being an adult, i.e. many months after her birthday and whatever, I constantly compared her to Meg Griffin. I constantly called her Drew Carey. I constantly said things that were mean to her because that's what I felt about her. And Kai, for a very, very long time, even after Sarah became an adult, had very similar feelings. We were both, and this is a kind of sad admission, but we were both really, really stuck on Billy for a very, very long time. Okay. And I don't know neither of us really knows what it was about Billy. But Sarah hated the fact that we were so into Billy, and we were literally rejecting Sarah over and over and over again, and that frustration built up in her.
So even when Sarah, even when this whole Sarah thing, turned into what it did at the end, you guys were still kind of stuck on Billy?
To this day. Yeah, okay. However sad that is. Like,
I mean, look, it is what it is.
Like, we go through these scenarios where we're like, what if we could have worked things out with Billy? And we're just like, dude, Billy has done so many horrible things to try and ruin our lives. Like, why would we ever do that?
How do you feel about her going on Chris Hansen, though?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I don't know how to feel. I can tell you is that Billy is a self-admitted, very vengeful person. Like, if you make Billy mad, she will try to hurt you, and that's just who she is. So the fact that she did that was probably out of spite, because she got rejected and because she was mad. Because I literally outed Billy for a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have outed her for. Yeah. But I still outed her because there was this thing where she said I was the worst person she ever met, and this is right after I dumped her. And I'm like, really? I'm the worst person you ever met? Well, let's talk about all the things that you told me that happened to you from other people, and let's see if I really did worse things than those people. And I was stupid enough to just go, and these are the things. But they said, I think Ayala wrote me, and she's like, hey, can you take that down? And I said, yeah, I'll take it down. I was trying to make a point. Like, you're just speaking irrationally. You're just saying hateful things about me because you're mad because I broke up with you, not because it's actually true. Yeah. And then I went and said those things, and then I took it down anyway. But then she's going to be even more mad at me now because I outed her for having gone through those things.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And
it's an endless thing where, like, I defend myself and I make a point, but it just sets more things on fire when I make that point.
True. Can I ask you about Ayala now? Look, she's, like, everybody tries to make it seem like everybody's a quote-unquote victim, and we already spoke about that. Like, what are they a victim of and everything like that. And when it comes down to it, all these women were adults, and this is all consensual. So when it comes down to it, it's really nothing.
But sorry, to be clear, Ayala, she was not even our friend.
What happened there? Why did she keep inserting herself?
Because Billy has an umbilical cord attached to Ayala. They're like that kind of friendship. Mm-hmm. So it's like I would constantly bring up problems with Billy about Ayala. I'd be like, dude, this is like an unhealthy relationship. This person has you hang out with drug dealers. This person has you getting involved in really a lot of things that just are not compatible with our lifestyle. She seems like a really morally not compatible person, and I don't like the influence that she has on you. And then Billy would say things like, well, she goes wherever I go, and I'm sitting here going, what are you guys going to get married? You need to just get married. Like, if you're that into her, just get married. It's just weird how attached to each other you are.
What I noticed though, like,
but Ayala would also get really defensive and also tell Billy what to do, like the night when she was caught outright lying, or however you want to translate it, cheating. Ayala was the one who tried to sneak Billy out in the middle of the night, and I was just like, why the fuck you sneak? Like, literally, you're the one who cheated, and you're trying to say that you're trying to act like you guys are in a dangerous situation. All you did was cheat. You got caught lying. and you're supposed to make it right. You're not supposed to run away. You're supposed to be like, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this, I want to make it right with you guys. But instead she tried to just sneak away.
Okay.
And that was Ayala's doing. That was Ayala going, this is so unhealthy. And the reasoning was because we said, to prove that you're not, this person who we can't trust, just get a tattoo of a lily that represents your appreciation, and it's like a lily of whatever design you want. And that came from my experience with Shiloh, where Shiloh had me tattoo "Remember Love" on my wrists.
Yeah. Well, you can see how that's kind of toxic, though, right? I mean, come on, it's a little toxic.
What, the tattoo thing? Well, I would say don't lie to people that say you trust. I would rather, let me put it to you this way. The woman of your dreams, okay? The woman of your absolute dreams. You lie to her face, or you cheat on her, and she says all you have to do to make up for this is prove with some kind of grand gesture that I can trust you, that you really want to be in this relationship. I don't care what it is, just do something that proves that what you did isn't representative of how little you care for me, and that you actually do care for me.
Okay.
And so the closest thing to something that she could agree to was that.
So you wanted her to prove that she cared. That's what you wanted.
It didn't matter if it was a beautiful flower that she got. She already had skulls all over her body, tattoos of skulls and other flowers. So I was like, another flower, who cares? Doesn't even, like, I was like, it's fine if you get something that, I was like trying to establish, we don't want like, some kind of fucking thing that you can't, like, if things don't work out, you can't just like explain it. It's like, for instance, I got Remember Love on my wrists. That doesn't say, Shiloh, I love you, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because that's not forward thinking. Okay, so you wanted to get them to get some kind of symbol of love, but it doesn't have to be exclusive to you because it might not work out, and you don't want them to be stuck with that.
You just want a symbol of your love, so like something to make. It didn't
even have to be a tattoo. It literally just had to be something that just showed that they cared,
but
and that they were sorry. That they were sorry for lying. So the question I was asking you, and it's a rhetorical question, but like, if me with Kai, okay, if I did something wrong to Kai and Kai said, this is what you can do to make it right, you can get a cool, like, you love Power Rangers, get a freaking Power Ranger tattoo on your shoulder that says, a special slogan that's somehow symbolic or whatever, I'd be like, that's so easy. That is the easiest thing in the world. I like Power Rangers already. I'm gonna get the tattoo. It doesn't even matter. It's not like, a cult symbol or something that says I give you my soul or something crazy. It's just a literal tattoo that you would have gotten anyway or something like that. We were giving her an easy out, and Ayala perceived that as, oh my god, these people are crazy, we got to get out of here. And then months later, Billy's trying to come back. Billy's like, for some reason, Billy didn't listen to Ayala that time, or Ayala just changed her mind or something like that. And they were sick at the time, and we had a baby, and we didn't want to get our baby sick from their illness. And so Billy actually agreed to come back in a hazmat suit. And she also agreed to that whole, sitting in our bedroom. Our bedroom was the basement, with our big projector and everything, with a 50-foot cord to a dog collar, with pizza deliveries and all that stuff.
So it would have been like some type of kinky type of thing.
It was very kinky, yes.
Okay.
But
I understand.
I wasn't thinking of it so much sexually. I was thinking of it like more like, this is something that I would love to do if I had betrayed someone so deeply and they're giving me a second chance. But hindsight, it easily looks creepy.
People look at it and they're like, listen, this is why they say you're abusive.
It's easy to twist that narrative because very bondage and all those kinks and whatever, they get really unflattering when you're not still with that person.
True. It
becomes a totally different narrative. At the time you enjoy it. At the time she was like, in her text she says that she wouldn't want to do it. Then we were talking on the phone, she's like totally down for it on the phone. And then she was like talking about coming in a hazmat suit, so she wouldn't get anyone sick, but she wanted to be around us so bad that she was willing to be in a hazmat suit. So we're like, okay, you can be in a hazmat suit, you won't get anyone sick, that's great. You can still come. And then I was like, but I gotta ask you, have you been doing illegal drugs? And it's like, it's not about pot or anything like that. It's about whether or not it's illegal and whether or not we're gonna let someone who does illegal things around our family again.
Yeah.
And so she says, yeah, I have. And I'm like, well, we're done.
Okay.
And then she's like, LOL, be mad. I'm like, you really just don't care at all, do you? It's like freaking bizarre. And, that's when she goes on her rants and stuff about how awful we are because we didn't want her around for doing criminal activity and taking part in it. So.
Okay, let me ask you about Ayala a little bit more, too. All right, so I noticed that Ayala, it's been... How many years has it been since she was, around you personally? It's been a while, right?
She was around us when Social Repose... When she was dating Social Repose, and Social Repose found out that Ayala was at her house, and so allegedly Social Repose was going to release information that they didn't want out about them, and they were so freaked out about this information being leaked that it started to make me think that they were up to something really messed up, and I couldn't figure out what it was. But they were reacting, and this isn't what I'm saying they did. They were reacting like someone knew that they murdered someone, and I was just like, what could be so bad that you guys did that Social Repose has this dangling over your head that you're terrified he's going to release about? Because, you know, Social Repose can be apparently a really scary person, because Iola was in our house breaking down crying, like sobbing hysterically. To her credit, she does have, she is bipolar, as I understand. So maybe that's why she was breaking down crying, but she was losing her mind because of Social Repose. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I don't know why I got off on that tangent, but she was around me for, I think, and this is just a guess, I think she was at most around me for 2 weeks.
Okay.
In my house.
So how many years ago was this?
I don't know. It had to be 2000, earlier 2016, maybe late 2015.
So like 4 or 5 years, and so it's been a while. I noticed it seems like anytime she's like starting to lose some relevancy, she comes back out with some way, and you're always the target. How do you feel about that?
I don't pay attention, so it's hard to say.
Like, you don't, I don't know. When I see it, to me, it seems really see-through, and I don't understand why every time.
I mean, you know, maybe she does have her OnlyFans, so maybe she gets, you know, more support that way.
I just don't get it, though. Like, doesn't she have music, though, and other stuff going on? Like, I don't get it.
Why has she never addressed her trying to have sex with Sarah? That's what I don't get.
Look, I know that's a thing. She did try to have sex with her. How old was Sarah at that time? Do you remember?
As I understand, Iola was like 19 and Sarah was 16, but I might be wrong.
Okay, so.
But the point is that she's trying to criticize people who weren't even trying to sleep with Sarah while she was actively trying to sleep with Sarah. So it's like, it's so bizarre to see her act like that. It's like the greatest form of projecting that I think I've ever seen. It's so weird. It's like, dude, you literally tried to sleep with this 16-year-old in our house. The 16-year-old rejected you, and now you're trying to say that we're bad because we were so obsessed with Billy and we actually didn't want to be with this person at all. Like, I don't get what's up her ass about it.
Okay.
Because it's like, dude, it's you. It's always been you going after this, and you're literally trying to paint someone else what you are.
Okay, so let's get back onto the Chris Hansen topic, because we talked about a lot of these people that they say that you're a bad person and you've done all these terrible things, but when it comes down to it, it's hard to find actual crimes that they want to bring to Chris Hansen or whatever, and that's the annoying part. Is like, I've said this before, like, listen, like, you can not like Onision, and like you can say he's a bad guy, but listen, being a bad guy doesn't send you to prison. And it doesn't make you a groomer either. That, you know what I mean? You can't just stick these labels on people without actual proof. Like, you actually need real evidence. So when it comes to the groomer thing, like, I'm gonna throw this like text that I have. It's like on the screen. I know you put it out before. It's Sarah saying, like, listen, if I told James and Kai that that I was interested in them, they would have kicked me out of the house. Because I mean, that right there alone proves there was never any grooming. Because
there's also the other one where Sarah is talking to Kai, and Sarah says, she literally says, if anything, I groomed you guys. That's what she said as an adult.
Yeah. Okay, so
it's like she's admitting to that, and in addition, there's the previous video that I made, again on the Discord in the witch hunt section. It's one of the most recent videos. It literally points out the time when we found out that she was secretly texting someone talking about how she was trying to get with us, and we literally kicked her out for it because we kept saying, we don't want to be with you. You are not here for that. You are here because you said that your mom beat you, and we're trying to keep you safe from being beaten. Okay. That's why she was there.
Now, the sexual...
this plotting is like, dude, what are you really doing? Why are you being so malicious and creepy to us and trying to get this way that we don't want?
So I know I asked you this off stream and everything like that, but I gotta ask you, like, on this interview now, is like, when the situation with the sexual extortion and like the NDA and everything like that happened, right? And like, a lot of people are saying, all right, so Onision, you're saying it's sexual extortion and everything like that, and that she may have possibly, RAPED, you guys, are you saying that because of monetization or whatever? No, I'm not monetizing. I have to spell stuff all the time now. Yeah, no, it's just because I don't want to get blacklisted. I'm sick and tired of them fucking with my, I feel like they're trying to throttle my channel. So, anyways,
no. YouTube just a real quick side note. YouTube once told me, they said, the primary keyword on your channel is RAPE or whatever. And I'm like,
God.
dude, I never use that in my keywords. And then I realized they were using every single word I said from the speech recognition, and they were automatically using those as keywords. So I realized every single word I say in my videos also counts against my channel and gets my channel in trouble. So I was like, I can't say anything controversial, otherwise they'll say that that's in my metadata.
Exactly.
So anyway, moving on to what you were saying.
All right, so the situation is, everybody says that listen, if like, you know, Onision, if you say that Sarah did this to you and Kai, why don't you press charges?
Right. And if we press charges, then we would have to, one, spend thousands of dollars. We would also have to see Sarah most likely again. We would also have to relive the situation again and again. People don't understand, when you go through an experience that you really, really don't like, that's really, really unpleasant for you, like, this is why I didn't even want to address this stuff publicly and why I was the last person to talk. Because when you, actually, I'm not the last. Kai still hasn't talked about it because Kai's so traumatized from everything that he went through. But you don't want to talk about stuff. You don't want to go through and relive stuff that's traumatic to you. And if you go and you try to get a lawyer, first of all, that's thousands of dollars. The police would be probably a pretty difficult route, just because they have these huge priorities, police. They have these active crimes going on, and you're talking about probably more of a civil case than anything. And when it's civil, that means you're losing money. Okay, so it's civil and you're losing money. How are you going to get anything back from this situation? How are you going to not immediately essentially sue yourself the moment you pay a lawyer to pursue someone? Because you're talking about somebody who has no money that you're pursuing. And so you can't get compensation for what you went through financially because they're broke. And you can't get justice with the police because it's across states, and they're not going to prioritize you. Kai actually went through something where a guy admitted to violating him when they were dating back when Kai was in high school. These two dated a long time ago. Kai actually, this person publicly admitted it. Publicly admitted to what they did. And we're not talking about what Sarah did, which was force through fear. We're talking about actual physical force that this guy did.
Terrible.
Admits to it. Kai goes to the police, right? And the police sidebar Kai. They don't even make it a priority, even though this guy literally admitted to it. So the police don't, in many instances, they don't help as much as they should. And I among anyone, should be embarrassed for the entire situation with how the police handle things. Because I have been for a long time saying, you know, if you're a victim of this, go to the police. If you don't go to the police, you're helping these people get away with their crimes and so forth. And then after being sexually extorted and seeing this all go down, I'm like, dude, it's almost impossible to get justice unless you have video evidence or something like that.
So now you understand where these people are coming from.
And even then, it seems like in a lot of instances, it's really hard to get justice.
Yeah. So now you
kind of a situation that's just a big uphill battle. I didn't want to deal with. I wanted to move on with my life. I broke up with her, kicked her out, said I'm gone. And when I say kicked her out, she was actually going anyway. She was only visiting for 2 weeks. People for some reason think that she lived with us. Like during that, she didn't. She lived with us until she got kicked out, which was, you know, maybe a half a year or a year prior or something like that. She was away for a while. But that's why that doesn't help their grooming accusations or anything like that, because they wanted people to believe that this is just a person who, they literally said, oh, you raised Sarah. And it's like, dude, I met Sarah when she was 16. In my state, it's legal to be with someone who's 16, and I still wasn't with her. We were only interested in Billy. Even after Sarah turned 18, we still weren't pursuing her. Then she finally got sexually extorted us after she said she was RAPD'd by someone back in Michigan. We felt bad for her, flew her out, and then she sexually extorted us. So I'm just like, what do you want from me, guys? I've told you the same thing over and over again, and you now want me to press charges that won't even happen, that are going to cost me money, and I immediately lose a lawsuit because I already lost money on the fact that I spent it on a lawyer and probably will never be justice.
Would you say you're more sympathetic to some people who don't go to the police now,
I'm 100%. 100%. If you're violated and you don't go to the police, I say you probably know a lot more about it than I do, and I should just shut up because I haven't been in your shoes. That's what I should have said from the beginning, but I was an asshole and I decided to judge people when I never went through their situation at all.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, some people don't know until they know, you know. I get it. So, all right, let's go to Chris Hansen, right? I wanna ask about that and some of these people who have tried to interview you, and let's go to Chris Hansen and like Edwin or like those type of people. So, I know a lot of people want to interview about this type of shit and everything like that. Can I ask you why?
No, they don't.
You don't think they do?
They wanted it when they thought I was guilty. Once I released the full however long spiel about what exactly happened. For some reason suddenly none of them wanted interviews. I think Blair White was the most recent person who hit me up with an interview. I replied and I said, dude, this obsession with drama, it's gonna lead you down like a really bad path. Like I don't agree with where you're going. I think that the way you try to cancel people all the time is really toxic, unhealthy for you, and it's not going to play out well for you long term, and that you'd be far better off in your career if you just focused on making videos for the transgender community and so forth, making the world a better place, yada yada. Blair White immediately releases a video that says, Onision tries to manipulate me with blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, I was being genuine. I was being a human being with you, and you turn it into I'm trying to manipulate you or whatever. And then Blair White gets canceled for not listening to me. She literally got canceled because she decides to go after like a teacher or something. She tries to cancel a teacher, calling him a turns out he's not he's actually a great person or something. I don't know the whole story, but she got canceled for that. Then she offers this apology for going after people based on rumors. And it's like, oh yeah, like me, for instance.
Yeah.
But more recently, I wrote both Jacqueline Glynn. I wrote Edwin Generation.
So
has
Jacqueline reached
all these people? I wrote all these people, offering them all free interviews, free interviews with me. Most of them I asked to do it for charity. Jacqueline Glynn, I said she could do it for profit if she really wanted to, as a wedding gift to her. They all are completely and utterly ghosting me.
Okay, so Jacqueline hasn't reached out to me.
Coincidentally, not long after, I came out with a full story that did not fit their narrative at all.
So you think that Jacqueline and like these people don't want to do it now because they see that it's bullshit? Is that what you think?
Okay, so to sum up my feelings, Edwin's Generation, Jacqueline Glynn, Blair White, Repzilla, and Repsian are the biggest frauds and liars and fakes on YouTube, and that is something that will progressively get more prominent in time with people like them who cannot admit when they're wrong and have way too much pride and literally just go with whatever the trend is, whatever people want them to say, rather than what the truth is.
I gotta say,
sorry, I forgot Chris Hansen. He's like the king of that.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, listen, I like Jacqueline. I've never had any issues there. I met her in person.
Oh, Jacqueline's awful.
And
no, Jacqueline's awful because, like, if you ever look up her plagiarism story, it's something that I ignored in the beginning. She actually played allegedly based on her early cancellation. People were saying that she had copied an entire essay essentially from a website and then said it verbatim in her own video as if she came up with it herself.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that claim.
First of all, on so many levels, this is stupid. Because first of all, of course you're going to get found out, so that's stupid. Additionally, the reward for that is so low. So you're essentially just outing yourself as a total fraud for what gain? And she tried to play it off like it was her.
Okay.
So you're talking about a complete and utter fraud. And then you're also talking about a person who is completely and utterly incapable of holding up her end of the argument.
What do you mean?
She's completely when we are at odds, she is not capable of meeting me in a live stream discussion or any discussion for that instance. Like the only time she'll ever talk to me is when she isn't actively making hate videos about me.
Okay. I mean, I thought she cleared things up. I thought she cleared things up with you publicly recently. Didn't she? Did she not? Or
Jacqueline Glynn is all over the place. I did this thing where I was like, hey, I'm sorry for being so hard on you because it turned out, because I warned her about Social Repose. I said, Social Repose is a really bad guy. I saw what Social Repose put Ayala through, because if you didn't know, Ayala and Jacqueline dated the same dude.
Yep.
Jacqueline decided to date Social Repose right after I saw what he put Ayala through. So I'm like, dude, do not date, or I didn't know that they were trying to date. I was like, do not be friends with Social Repose. Social Repose is a really, really not good guy. And I said, he's only going to bring you sadness or whatever. And she's like, F you, Onision. I'm like, I'm not going to listen to you. So she didn't listen to me, and then he cheated on her with 4 women. Okay. And so when she came out with all these videos of her being so miserable or whatever, I did the absolute worst thing I could do. And I was like, well, I warned you, and you didn't listen. And additionally, she made 8 videos about me with Social Repose.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like she was rubbing it in my face. She's rubbing it in my face that she was with him months and months. Then he finally cheats on her or gets caught cheating on her with 4 women. And I'm sitting here going, how can I not say I told you so at this point? Like, literally, you dragged me through the mud after I tried to help you. And so, you know what? Here's your I told you so. Yeah. And then later on, I was like, you know what? I kind of feel bad for doing that. I'm sorry. I wasn't the bigger person. I should have been more civil with you. I'm sorry, Jacqueline. And then she said that she was sorry too, or that she accepted my apology. I don't really remember. but I don't really care.
So it's kind of like been all
just
over the place, right?
The fact that she accepted my apology was great, and I love that. And then she went to the fucking dark side as soon as she started dating this other guy she's now married to, who is like a follower of hate blogs of me. He was like a Patreon.
David, listen, I gotta be honest. I've met David in person. I did an interview with Jacqueline and David, and like I saw them, and like we talk often. David is a really nice guy. Like he really is. He's a really nice guy. I don't know what.
That's an illusion. You understand. You understand. You can never trust niceness, right? Michael Jackson was nice. Okay.
I understand.
My dad is one of the nicest people you ever meet. Mm-hmm. Shane Dawson is super duper nice. Okay. Yeah. The nice people are just as scary, if not more so, than the people who aren't nice.
I just really appreciate him.
How often? I'm just saying. How often have you met somebody who says, I told my mom or I told my dad that someone had victimized me and they didn't listen and they took the side of the other person, and the other person just happens to be the most charismatic, nice person in the world.
So are you saying you don't?
I'm saying that happens all the time. So I'm just saying this guy, he on the surface he's super nice, right? Mm-hmm. But why is he paying a person whose literal career at the time, I don't remember who it was, but he was literally paying this person whose career was based on attacking me. Why are they so obsessed with hate of me that they are paying someone to do it if they're so nice? What kind of mindset are you in? Where I wouldn't do that.
So you think he's a wolf in sheep's clothes? Is that what you think?
I want to go to an anti-Shane Dawson Patreon and pay them, because that doesn't seem like a good use of my money, and it's also not somewhere I want to spend my mental space.
I mean, the reason why I think he's a nice guy is like he was like literally the first person to join my Patreon when I made it, and and then he gave me an interview. Like he didn't have to do that. Like this is when they first started dating, and then we also did an interview in person. He's been extremely nice to me.
Somebody to you is nice if they do you favors.
No, it's not what I mean. It's like we've had conversations and real interactions, and he's done some things that he didn't have to do. You know what I mean? He didn't have to do these things, and I appreciate you also doing this interview and speaking with me, and we've had some decent
Okay, I have a question for you though. Okay. What is his status?
What do you mean?
Everybody changes based on their status. If somebody is a huge celebrity and they give you an interview, that is a nice person, because they have descended to be on your level and to give you a piece of their time.
Okay, so you mean his status?
If somebody is on your level or beneath you as far as their relevance in the world, I'm not so sure that they're doing you a favor. I think they might be doing themselves a favor. So it doesn't necessarily make them nice.
So you think he was trying to do himself a favor?
I never heard of him before. So what I'm saying is that doesn't seem like a favor as much as it is a collaboration.
I mean, I guess I understand what you're saying. I mean, I don't know. I just whenever anybody works for me, I just appreciate it. He's never done anything shitty. And when I was down in Florida at Playlist Live, you know what I mean. He went out him and Jacqueline went out of their way to meet up with me, which I appreciated.
That's so funny. Weren't you anti-Onision at the time?
I was at that time. I was. Yeah.
There you go. I was. There you go. So this reveals exactly what I was fucking talking about. These people are so hateful that they will do everything they can to support this anti-Onision agenda, despite the fact that I never did shit to Jacqueline outside say, hey, you're really dumb and you're going after this dude. You're going around this dude who's gonna fucking ruin your life.
So you think this guy now?
She's one of the most pride-filled people I've ever seen. One of the greatest sins of all time is pride. She's obsessed with this idea that she's so smart and she's so capable, and if anybody questions her, then they're the devil. Mm-hmm. That woman blows my mind. I don't understand why she can't just have a rational conversation with somebody, and instead she has to hide behind her camera all the time, just literally projecting this echo chamber narrative, and cannot have any conflicting ideas. So if you notice, like Jacqueline Glenn and Blair White were literally taking selfies and sending them to me, trying to mock me because they were both anti-me. She did the same thing with Social Repose. Social Repose and Jacqueline Glenn were anti-me, so they were making videos together, literally mocking me. Their obsession with me was so bizarre and weird, especially since I had flown Jacqueline out to do sketches with me, and she was really cool to me at the time, but then she pretends like she never even fucking met me because I was right about Social Repose.
Okay.
It's like ever since I was social post, she's been so hateful to me.
I
like
mean,
she just can't accept. I was trying to help her out.
So you think that this guy's like a wolf in sheep's clothes though now, the one that she's with now?
I don't know anything about them. I just know it's really fucking weird to be a patron of somebody who's literally just a hate blogger or whatever. It's just really weird.
Do you remember who the guy was that you're talking about, or no?
It literally might have been you.
Are you sure? Are you sure it was? Is that what it is?
He might have been your patron. I don't know, but it was like when you were really hardcore hateful and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, because he was a patron of mine. Like, he might have been my first one at the time. Like, I just appreciated it. I mean, look, I can understand like you being upset with that type of stuff, but like I'm not really anti-O anymore. I saw a lot of stuff that turned me off into the situation, and I don't like the fact that these people are willing to say anything that's just bad about you because they just, oh, it's Onision, so fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, they're down to say some of the grossest, most fucked up shit and just, like, just let it ride. And some of these people that cover you or talk about you, they literally say things they know is not true or just complete fabricated bullshit, but it doesn't matter because it's you, so it'll sell, and let's just push it anyways. And it's soulless.
Right.
It's soulless.
They have money. They have money dangling in front of them, and the more crazy they get, the more money they make.
And people are gonna hate me because I'm saying this, but it's the truth.
Well, I mean, okay, so we're talking about patterns. At least I was thinking about patterns. The pattern has consistently been, for a long time, somebody comes out and says something horrible about me or wages war on me, and then they fall apart right in front of everybody and all their cracks start to show, and then people start to realize they were liars like I said they were from the very get-go. Yeah. A good example is Joy Sparkle BS. That's a great example. People were celebrating the shit out of Joy Sparkle. That didn't work out. Another one was Tall Videos. Tall Videos didn't work out. Fell apart.
Are you supposed to be doing an interview with Tall Videos soon?
No.
All right. I saw a video of him saying he said he was doing an interview with you in like a month or something.
He's full of shit. That's what I'm talking about. I haven't talked to Tall Videos. I haven't talked to Tall Videos since he said sorry to me, and I told him to eat shit. Like I was like, dude, you can't just like say I'm gonna cheat on my husband because I powerbombed somebody, you psycho. And why you need to eat shit, you fucking dick.
Okay,
so like, and now he's saying he's gonna interview me. He can suck a dick.
Yeah,
no, it's not gonna happen.
All right, let me just ask you about Repzilla for a second because it's something that I want to talk about because listen. You made a video apologizing to me, and like again, you don't. It's not like we're friends or anything like that. That's not what happened. And a lot of people are gonna misconstrue this and be like, oh, whatever. Like, Onision was just saying that so RealStream would say this for him or whatever. And that's not the case. Like, listen, you heard what happened.
Yes, because I'm a mastermind.
Yeah, you heard what happened with Amber, and you apologized to me. You know what I mean? Which I appreciate that. I mean, you did it immediately did, and I appreciate that a lot. You know what? And it's sad. It's sad. These people, they want me to be like, fuck you, Onision. I don't care that you apologized.
If you said fuck you, Onision, to that, I would say, yeah, I deserve that. Because I literally took what she said and I believed her. And I literally said, I wouldn't do an interview with you. I wouldn't even talk to you because this person said that you had done something horrible to them.
Yeah.
And I literally went off the word. And I went around saying that you did this horrible thing because she told me. And I believed her. Yeah. And then once I realized that she had outright lied in such an evil way, because this destroys people's lives. Like, to me, getting shot, like if someone just walked up, shot me, dead, right there. I think that's far less painful for me, I'm not saying for everyone, but for me, than going around to everyone they know and saying that they're a predator.
Yeah.
And that's what so many people do. So many women and men do this, where because somebody doesn't want to be with them or they don't have good terms with them or whatever, they're like, you know what? I'm going to socially execute this person.
Yeah.
And so they not only have to die in the eyes of most everyone they know, they don't have to live it every single day as torture because of what they do. To me, it's so much, in so many ways, worse than certain types of death. To me. Yeah. It's so much more, like, if somebody just walks up to me and held a pillow over my face, it'd be so much more merciful. A lot of the things that people put people through. Well, with this social
and well, in any event, I appreciate that you apologize and everything like that. And you know what the worst part is that there's a few creators that still have those videos up about me because they don't give a fuck that you know Amber recanted what she said. Like Repzilla is one of them, and like she actually,
that's amazing.
You know, Amber actually reached out to him. Amber actually reached out to him and said, "Hey, can you take this video down?" And he said, "No, you said this 3 years ago, and I don't think you know better than me, and I'm leaving this up."
Repzilla isn't compatible with the fucking truth. He's not compatible. He's such a douche, dude.
I just think it's terrible.
I had a conversation with him, and same with Edwin's generation. I would show these guys, like Sarah saying that she sexually extorted me. Her outright saying it live before there was no influence there. You're an adult woman. How could you possibly? And I'm phrasing this way because that's what she was. You're this adult woman. How could you possibly ever RAPE someone? And it's like a million ways, because that's what people can do. Just because you don't like a person doesn't mean they can't violate somebody. And Sarah herself admitted to my face twice that she had done that, was apologizing for it, then says it publicly. And still, people like Repzilla and people like Evan's generation will be like, "Yeah, but I choose not to believe that." That's their response.
Yeah,
they really just choose. They choose to not acknowledge the admission of guilt right in the people that chose the lens.
Yeah,
bizarre.
I just think it's
like
crazy.
Watching people growing a religion, and they're thinking, just a.
Sorry, you're breaking up there. Are you there? You there? Sorry, you broke up for a second. You there?
Yeah.
All right, sorry. All right, so you're there. Look, so yeah, I can't deal with that. I think they're completely fucking. It's like the way that they handle things. Like, he should have updated the situation and he didn't. And you know what the crazy part is that you were close with Amber and everything like that. So it's like they don't care what the actual situation is. They wanna label me a piece of shit and that's it and move on. It's fucked up.
Well, that's because it's not a video that sells if you turn out to not be a monster like they painted you to be.
Yep.